Right now, deep inside your brain, your hippocampus is quietly shrinking, and the neuroscientists who discovered this admit they have no way to reverse it once it starts. It doesn't announce itself. There's no headache, no warning sign, nothing you can point to and say, that's it, that's the damage. It just gets smaller, cell by cell. And the people who study this for a living will tell you off the record that once the shrinkage begins, there is no drug, no supplement, no simple fix that switches it back on. But some people have found a way to interrupt it anyway, and by the end of this, you'll know exactly what they do differently. Here's what that means for you. Your hippocampus isn't just some anatomical footnote. It's your memory's filing system, the structure that takes the chaos of your day and turns it into something you can actually retrieve later. Faces, names, the route home, the feeling of being known by another person, and if you felt lonely for a stretch of months, not just a bad week, but a real, sustained absence of connection, that filing system is already operating under duress. You might notice it as small things first, forgetting why you walked into a room, losing the thread of a conversation. Feeling foggier than you used to. You chalk it up to stress, to aging, to being busy. It's none of those things. It's your brain's archive under siege, and it's happening whether you notice or not. Here's the mechanism, and it's uglier than most people realize. Chronic loneliness keeps your body flooded with cortisol, the stress hormone your system releases when it senses a threat it can't resolve. And loneliness, to your nervous system, reads exactly like a threat, not a metaphorical one. A survival-level one. For most of human history, isolation meant no one to watch your back, no one to share food, no one to help you outrun danger. Your biology never got the memo that modern isolation is different. So it responds the same way it always has. It panics quietly for months at a time. And your hippocampus happens to be one of the most cortisol-sensitive structures in your entire skull. It's packed with receptors built to absorb that chemical. Short bursts it can handle, but sustained exposure, the kind that comes from weeks of eating alone, scrolling alone, going to bed without a single real exchange that day, starts to shrink the dendrites, the tiny branching connections neurons use to talk to each other. Less branching, less volume, a slow, structural retreat. And here's the part researchers don't say loudly. They can see this on an MRI. They can measure it, publish it, put it in a journal, but they cannot reverse it with medication. There is no pill that regrows hippocampal tissue. Loneliness is not classified as a disease, so there's no protocol, no prescription pad for it. A doctor can treat your blood pressure. They cannot treat the fact that no one asked how your day went. That gap between what medicine can fix and what your brain actually needs is exactly why this keeps happening to smart, capable, high-functioning people who look completely fine from the outside. And here's where it gets counterintuitive. You'd think the fix is simple: get around more people, go to more events, fill your calendar. But here's the twist that flips that advice on its head. Researchers have found that being surrounded by people while still feeling unseen is often just as damaging as being physically alone, sometimes worse. Your cortisol doesn't respond to how many bodies are in the room. It responds to whether you feel understood in it. A loud party full of small talk can leave your stress chemistry identical to an empty apartment. Quantity was never the variable that mattered. And it gets worse before it gets better, because this same cortisol flood doesn't stop at the hippocampus. It also degrades activity in your prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for impulse control and clear decision-making. So the more isolated you feel, the harder it becomes to reach out, initiate, or even recognize that reaching out is the solution. Your brain builds the exact trap that keeps you inside it. So what actually interrupts this? High performers who understand this rule don't chase more social contact. They chase depth deliberately in small doses. The rule is this: one real exchange a day, minimum 90 seconds, where you say something true and let someone respond to it. Not a text, not a like. A moment where another person's attention is fully on you and yours is fully on them. That kind of exchange triggers oxytocin, a chemical that directly counteracts the cortisol pathway attacking your hippocampus. It's not about willpower. It's a biochemical trade, and it works in minutes, not months. Tonight, that means one call, not a text. Ask a real question. Say one true thing about how you actually are. Then stop talking and listen without your phone in your hand for at least 5 minutes. That's the whole rule. It costs nothing, and it starts working immediately. But the hippocampus isn't the only structure your isolation is quietly reshaping. There's another region, one that decides whether you'll even recognize a friendly face as friendly when you finally see one. And it's already changing shape too.